Extinction Rebellion shut bridges in London protest turmoil. They created havoc throughout central London today, blocking bridges, conducting sit-in demonstrations, and marching across the metropolis. During the second day of large protests in the city, dozens of people were detained. When they return to London, they're going to do a lot of things for a whole week that could stop parts of the city from working. Demonstrators have previously occupied both the Lambeth and Vauxhall bridges, preventing traffic from crossing. However, emergency vehicles were permitted to pass through on both. On the other side of the road, people sat in the center of the road, waving flags with the group's Extinction sign on them and carrying banners that said things like "There is no planet B" and "We want to survive." After many hours, however, and in the midst of beautiful weather and music emanating from speakers, police started to clear both bridges. They said that 38 people were apprehended as a result of the investigation. Although the protest is the latest in a long line of XR demonstrations that have caused great annoyance to Londoners over the course of many years, environmental activists argue that the enormity of the climate catastrophe warrants their activities. But, like in other instances, police urged demonstrators to leave or risk arrest if they continued to disturb the public. A handful of activists were carried away in police vehicles as officers violently removed the rest of the protesters from the scene. Doctors and nurses from a small number of medical personnel who refused to leave Lambeth Bridge, according to Extinction Rebellion, were among those detained. Earlier this week, the United Nations warned that the globe is on the verge of climate calamity and more than 3 degrees Celsius of global warming, in the latest alarming environmental warning. On Sunday morning, hundreds of protesters gathered at Speaker's Corner in Hyde Park. They then marched into the city centre. Earlier, protesters painted red hands on the exterior of the Schlumberger corporate headquarters in London, which is home to the oilfield services business. According to Extinction Rebellion, around 8,000 demonstrators took to the streets of London the previous day. On Saturday, they staged a traffic blockage in the vicinity of Oxford Circus and Trafalgar Square, marking the beginning of the major action.